I have had these butterflies in my storage on Nautilus for literal months, but apparently I was saving them for this build because it just came together so serendipitously. Ooh, okay, vocab. Hey besties, it's Nat, back again with another video, and today I'm here with my very good friend Aurora, and we have a message for all of you, and that is that Happy Home Paradise is fun. That's right, besties. Recently, I've actually been playing a lot of Happy Home Paradise. It all started about a month ago when I did a charity stream where y'all controlled my HHP builds, and it was just so fun, and the builds turned out so cute, and ever since then, I've just been hooked on Happy Home Paradise. For those of you who don't know, last year, I finished my very first complete island, Nautilus. It took me 3 years, and now I'm starting on my second island, Tokyo 3, and it's honestly been really overwhelming getting back into the game after not playing for a while and doing all of these huge builds. And getting on stream and playing HHP with all of you has just let me have so much fun and be so creative, and it's actually given me inspiration for my real island. I feel like I forgot how fun this game mode is, and today I want to share some of my HHP love with all of you. So I'm going to show y'all this fabulous build we did on stream a couple of weeks ago, building Aurora her dream flower shop. I'm going to talk a little bit about my process, some ideas that I ended up bringing over to my main island, and of course, because it's a me video, there's going to be some rambling, there's going to be some story time, so look forward to that. And maybe some of y'all who haven't played HHP in a while can pick up your Switch and play along with me during the video. That would be a lot of fun. Also, speaking of charity streams and fun, I am going to be doing another charity stream this coming Saturday, April 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, raising money for Doctors Without Borders, and I'll be touring your dream addresses. That's right, besties. If you've ever wanted me to tour your island, this is going to be the time. So there will be more info about that at the end of the video, but for now, grab yourself a snack, grab yourself something to drink, grab your Switch if you want to play along, and let's get right into it. Greetings, besties. It is me, VoiceOver Nat, and here we are at Aurora's flower shop. Now, as you can see, we are at the Happy Home Paradise lot that is just a field. I love this lot. It might be one of my favorites. It's just so simple, and it's just a simple shape. It's just a rectangle, and it's big, and there's nothing around it, and I just feel so free when I'm building here. I can just build anything, and I usually build a tiny house in a big field, but that is my weakness as a builder. But today we're talking about strengths, okay? Strengths at building. We're talking about creativity. We're talking about building Aurora a flower shop. I was actually inspired to do this build, one, because I saw Aurora in my HHP at some point. I don't remember when. It could have been on stream. It could have been when I was just playing by myself. But I saw her and I was like, oh my God, Aurora, I love her. And then I noticed that her HHP prompt is that she wants a flower shop. And then I thought about the fact that you can put butterflies in your Happy Home Paradise build, which is a thing that I never take advantage of. Technically, you could put any insect you wanted in your HHP build, but mostly I think about butterflies because they're simply the best. And I was like, I have a ton of butterflies in my storage. Why don't I bring them over here and make a build for Aurora and have like a ton of butterflies outside of her flower shop? And that is how we got the inspo for this build. So we're gonna actually be releasing those butterflies a little bit later in the build. Right now, we are figuring out the exterior of her house, and I wanted to use the storefronts to sort of extend the house a little bit. This is actually a trick that I used on Nautilus for my own player character's house. So this is not new to me, but I wanted to experiment a little bit with colors, and in the end I ended up using like the yellow wooden siding, which I have used before. I will say this is not my most original exterior in terms of like the colors going on, but I think that there are other aspects of it that are creative and fun, especially the butterflies. That's my favorite part of this whole build, to be honest. But this build is going to be in 3 parts. We're going to have the outside, we're going to have the downstairs, and the upstairs. We gave Aurora the works. She deserves it. It's her dream home. And I wanted her to have everything in the world. So she's going to have her exterior of her flower shop. She's going to have her business inside on the ground floor. And then on the second floor, she's going to have a cute little apartment. So let me know in the comments after the video what your favorite part is. And also let me know if you are playing Happy Home Paradise along with the video, what villager you're building a house for, and what the theme of that house is, whether it's the prompt that they gave you or if it's a prompt that you thought of because their prompt was stupid. I'm sorry, that was a mean way of saying that. If their prompt was not your intention, that's a nicer way of saying it. I'll say it like that. Just let me know what's going on with your build, because I am very nosy, and if you are playing Happy Home Paradise, that makes me happy and I want to know about it, so you have to tell me. Anyways, I'm adding like a little vegetable garden in the right hand corner of the build. Of course we have to add the wheat fields, besties. It's a me build, it has to have wheat fields. That's like the first requirement of it being a me build. But we add some wheat fields in the back here around the trees with the white picket fence, or that's not the picket fence, it's like the white wooden board fence, that's what it's called. We use the picket fence in the front of the build, just so you can see everything, so the build isn't like blocked off from the front. And we're gonna have like a huge field of pink hyacinths. I actually don't have any pink hyacinths on Nautilus anymore. I used to, because Nautilus is actually themed after an island off the coast of Maine where I grew up. And the hyacinths are supposed to represent lupins, which are like tall, skinny flowers that are found in that area of Maine. Fun fact, they're actually an invasive species, and they also actually are supposed to be purple and pink in real life. But I ended up going with the purple and blue hyacinths instead, because the pink hyacinths were just not the vibe, okay? The blue just looked better with my island. The theme, the pink was a little bit too fairy core, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of fairy core, but it just didn't work with Nautilus because it was supposed to be sort of like a rustic seaside town. And the blue, very nautical, okay? Nautilus, nautical, it worked, okay? But in this build, we got to bring the pink hyacinths back, which made me very happy. Right now, we're placing down an assortment of tomatoes, which eventually will be replaced with carrots, once again for color related reasons. And we also download a really cute custom design from the custom design portal that's like a little sign with a carrot on it. I love it. We were just having a lot of fun with this build, besties. And I was excited to incorporate all the pink because of Aurora's love of pink. She's wearing a pink shirt right now, and we end up having her apartment be pink and yellow and orange, and it was just a really fun color scheme to work with. I felt like I mentioned in the intro, I wanted to be creative, and even though I'm using a lot of stuff that I have used before, both on my own island and in HHP, it was just a little bit of fun to come in here and do something different and new. New for me, because as I mentioned also in the intro, I am currently working on my second island, Tokyo 3, which is like a post-apocalyptic city core themed island. And you can probably tell by the name, it's based off of Evangelion, so very different than Aurora's cute little farm in the middle of a field. Very different theme, very different vibe, different items, different everything. So it was nice to, I guess, return to my roots a little bit with this one, and do some new and different things. I really, really like how this build turned out, besties. Ooh, here I am using the pergola item, which if you watched my previous speed build where I built the train station, besties, which if you haven't seen that, you should go see that because that's one of my favorite builds I've ever done. Seriously, actually go watch that after this one. But if you've seen that build, then you know I use the pergolas in that to represent like the awning that goes over the train platform. And in this build, I sort of did a soft launch of the pergola because we're using it to like expand the house even more than just the storefronts. Like that's part of her greenhouse because the inside, the interior is going to have the greenhouse wallpaper. So it's sort of going to be like an indoor outdoor type of thing. And I thought that the pergola made it sort of look like it was almost like a greenhouse with like a flower roof, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it looked really cool. We're going to keep that. We're going to change the colors of the build, like I said, but we are going to keep the pergola as like an extra extension on the side of the house. And I think it looked really, really cute. And I think soon actually we're going to start adding in the flowers. I've been talking a lot about the build. Normally, I feel like I don't do that. Maybe it's because, once again, in my last build, I did a very extended story time about my villager drama on Nautilus because we haven't spent as much time over there, obviously, because we're working on the new island. So I just wanted to fill you all in on what's going on Nautilus. And then in the video before that, I talked almost exclusively about the build for an hour in my Misato's apartment build, which a lot of you saw, and I really appreciate the positive feedback to that video. I'm really glad y'all liked that. I was really nervous when I was posting it because I was like, oh, this video is so long. Like, who's gonna watch me ramble about this recreation of an anime apartment for an hour? And apparently a lot of you. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. And that actually makes me want to do more HHP builds because I just want to do more interiors. Like, I just had so much fun doing an interior for once. And actually doing that interior, which is so different from all the interiors that I did on Nautilus, doing that video inspired me doing this build, which came after that video. So it's all full circle, besties. But I was literally just saying how I wanted to stop talking about the build and then I started talking about it again. So we're going to take a break for story time. Oh, and I'm also about to start planting the flowers, so that's perfect. Anyways, besties, like I said, brief story time break. I also mentioned in the intro of this video, sort of offhandedly, that I took a quote short break in between finishing Nautilus and starting Tokyo 3, that was a bit of an understatement. I actually took an accidental 7-month hiatus from YouTube. I want to emphasize the word accidental in that. The first build for Tokyo 3, which I do mention my hiatus in the title for, actually took me 6 months to finish because it was so hard and so out of my comfort zone. It was just a huge build. It literally takes up like half of my island. But that build was just so much, and so much of my life happened in between then and now that I didn't even have time in that video to do like a full story time of like where I've been for 6 months. So there were some stories that got left out of that video that I thought I would catch all up on in this video. And the first one I want to start off with is actually Halloween 2023. And I know what you're all thinking, Halloween in April. And yes, all the real ones are thinking about Halloween in April. So you're in the right place, besties. But I went as Howl of Howl's Moving Castle. Hold your applause. I know, I do look very dashing and handsome. I have always wanted to dress up as Howl, whether it was for Halloween or for a cosplay. That's probably my favorite Ghibli movie. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like if you asked me what the best Ghibli movie was, I don't think I would say Howl's Moving Castle, but if you asked my favorite, it's probably that. I know, it's kind of a basic answer. Though, to be fair, it is partly responsible for the success of this channel, so I should be giving her flowers. But if you want a less basic answer for favorite Ghibli movie, I would probably go with, maybe I'll go with My Neighbors the Yamadas. That movie is very funny, and it's also kind of a comfort movie for me, so if you want to laugh, besties, check out My Neighbors the Yamadas. It's very good. Anyways, back on topic. It's Halloween 2023. I am dressed as Howl. I look very handsome and dashing, and I am dressed up with a purpose because I got tickets to the Wussy Mag 2023 Halloween party hosted by none other than Amanda Lepore. That's right, besties. She came down to Atlanta to perform, to sign autographs, and to host a costume contest. So I was excited. I was nervous. I didn't even know if I could do the costume contest. All I knew is that I had a ticket and I was gonna go, and I didn't have anyone to go with, besties. I am very used to doing things by myself. I love doing things by myself. I love going to the movies by myself. I love going out to dinner by myself. It's one of the perks of being an old lady, okay? It's just fun, all right? And I was going to this party all alone with my little costume, ready to dance, ready to have some fun, ready to see Amanda and all the other amazing queens and kings. There were some very good drag kings at that show. I was ready to see them perform and hopefully get into the costume contest. But the first thing that went wrong, or not wrong per se, the first thing that went awry, let's say, was that I showed up way too early. Normally, I would show up a little bit late. But for this, I was way too nervous, and I was nervous about getting my costume right, and I was also nervous because I had a very stupid idea, and that was to make my costume better for the costume contest through close-up magic. Don't laugh, okay? Actually do laugh. This is very funny. But I thought it would be funny if I did some magic because obviously Howl is a wizard. So I was like, I could do that trick where a magician like pulls a bouquet out of their sleeve. So I literally ordered a magic bouquet from like an actual magician's website. It was so cute. It was literally like 20 years old, and all the videos on it explaining the magic trips were in like 360p. It was incredible. But I got my magic bouquet in the mail, and I've been practicing like how to stuff it in my sleeve and then pull it out and stuff it in and pull it out. And by the time I got to the party, the issue that I was having, besties, is that Howl wears his coat like over his shoulders, and so I was doing that, but then the way that I was bending my arm, the flower in my sleeve, the actual stem of it, it's not a real flower, it's a fake flower. So the stem of the flower bouquet had like snapped, and the metal wires inside of it were like poking into me. So luckily, because I had arrived early, I was able to ask one of the tech guys for his like electrical tape so I could tape it back together. It was very dumb, but I had time to adjust my costume. I got to sit and text my friends and sort of get ready mentally to be at a big party. And then as people started trickling in, I very quickly made friends, because if you show up to a queer Halloween event dressed as a Ghibli character, especially an event that's full of like elder Gen Z and like young millennials, you're gonna make a friend or two or three or five. It was very easy to talk to people. I was not nervous after a little while, and you know, the music started playing, and then a bunch of the queens started performing, and kings. Honestly, I think that the kings were my favorite part of that Halloween party, besides Amanda herself. But there was one performer, and he did 2 numbers that I saw. One of them was Alan from the Barbie movie, incredible. And then the second one was Luigi from Luigi's Mansion with the suction backpack with the vacuum. Oh, here we are looking for that code. Yeah, whoever made this code, it'll show on the screen. I'll keep it in the video, besties. Jenna, thank you, Jenna. This is a great code. I love it. It's so cute. But as I was saying, a bunch of the local performers came on and did their performances, and it was amazing. And then the headliner, Amanda, performed. For the life of me, I cannot remember what song it was because, like I said, this was literally like 7 or 8 months ago. Ooh, we're finally releasing the butterflies. Okay, quick break to talk about the build. We're releasing the butterflies. I have had these butterflies in my storage on Nautilus for literal months. I always think to myself that I'm gonna keep them and then give them to Flick to turn into butterfly models, but I never do it. And then also, where would I put them? Like, I already finished Nautilus. I used to have butterfly models outside on Nautilus and I got rid of them. So like, what was I saving them for? But apparently I was saving them for this build because it just came together so serendipitously. Ooh, okay, vocab. Anyways, it came together so perfectly that I got to build a flower shop for Aurora and have my butterfly field that I envisioned in my big genius mind. Anyways, speaking of flower shop, we are finally moving on to the inside of the build, which I think turned out so cute. We're using the greenhouse wall, which I absolutely love. I really wanted to make this flower shop different than Fuchsia's flower shop on Nautilus. She has like a cool like pink sort of punk themed flower shop that she runs because she loves flowers and she never shuts up about them. So I wanted to make this build distinct from that one. So it's bigger obviously, and the colors are different and the layout is kind of different. I did mention previously how I did that big interior build of Misato's apartment on Tokyo 3 recently, and that actually inspired this build in a lot of ways. We're dressing Aurora up in her employee uniform, but that inspired this build in a lot of ways, especially the upstairs, but also the downstairs. It was just that whole process inspired me to do interiors way differently than I'm used to, like recreating an apartment from a TV show, from an anime no less, that it like the proportions are different and the rooms are like laid out in a different way because it's trying to be realistic but also not. It just made me think about interiors in Animal Crossing in a different way, and got me thinking of like different layouts and different ways I can use like partition walls and stuff and organize furniture. And I think that impacted this build really positively, and hopefully I can carry that momentum into other interior builds that I do, whether they're in HHP or they're on Tokyo 3 or in whatever future island I do after Tokyo 3. And also on Nautilus, I actually kind of want to renovate my bedroom on Nautilus now that I've done that whole apartment. Like, I'm just in the mood to do interiors, besties. I don't know. So this is the interior. We're about to build a really cool corner space where I'm gonna put a tree that's sort of growing like off to the side, and we're gonna put like a barrier so you can't really get to it, but you can like look at it. I don't know. It's cool. Trust me. I really like how it turned out. But that is the setup for the interior. We're gonna be incorporating a lot of different colors as well. This is where the yellow really starts to come in because the outside has the pink and then the upstairs has the yellow and the pink. But I didn't want to make the flower shop itself pink because Fuchsia's flower shop is pink. Her name is literally Fuchsia. So I wanted to do something a little different, and that's how we got the yellow. And we also have some like retro kind of style. Like we use this really cute yellow and green retro floor tile later on that I really like. It's gonna be cute, besties, trust me. But that's the basic plan for the interior. So let's get back to the story time, why don't we? So where we left off, Amanda Laporte gets on stage, does her performance. She is incredible. She's also so small in real life. She's so tiny. Like I wasn't expecting her to be like really tall, but I don't know why, but like seeing her in real life, it's like, oh my God, you're so small. You're so little. But she does her performance. Like I said, cannot remember the song that it was for the life of me. I'm sure it was Halloween themed, but it was amazing. And then right after that, one of the hosts of the show is like, hey, time to come on stage if you want to be in the costume contest. So my first hurdle at that point is climbing on stage with heels on. I was wearing heeled boots with one arm because like I mentioned before, I had to have my arm at like a specific angle so that the flowers didn't like fall out of my sleeve. So I sort of hobbled on stage and I ended up kind of in the middle. Actually, I was kind of like exactly in the middle, which was nerve-wracking enough. And then I look to my right and I see another person who had come to be in the costume contest. And then I look to my left, and who is standing next to me but Amanda Laporte herself. This is also when I had the realization of, oh my God, she's so short and I am so tall because I was wearing heels. And also, okay, we've talked about this on stream before, besties. Some of y'all have told me that I have tall energy, that you think that I'm tall. I am not tall. I am 5'6", okay? I am not short. but I am very average. I am very average height for where I live in the world, especially for women. So I've never had the impression of myself that I'm tall, but I've never had the experience of being particularly short either. I'm just sort of in the middle. But standing next to Amanda in that moment, I felt very tall and also very awkward. I felt extremely awkward. We looked at each other and we made eye contact, and she smiled at me and I smiled back at her. But for the life of me, I could not get a single word out of my mouth. I was so nervous. I was on stage. There were people looking at us. There was talking. There was stuff going on, and I should have just said, "Oh my God, Amanda, I love you," but nothing came out. So I just smiled awkwardly at her and then faced forward and just didn't acknowledge that she was next to me because I was so nervous. And luckily, thankfully, there was someone who was next to her on the other side of her who was somehow even more nervous than I was to be on stage, but also somehow not nervous at all to talk to Amanda. So they like turned to her and were like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous." And then Amanda was like, "Oh honey, I'll protect you, you know, I'll come stand by me." And so she moved that person in between the two of us. She moved that person from her left to her right. So that person was standing in the middle of us. So I'm like, oh, thank God. I don't have to have any more awkward celebrity interactions. So the costume contest proceeded. I was, like I said, right in the middle of the line. So it went down the line, and I was about the 6th or 7th person to go. I kind of blacked out for the whole beginning, even though I saw everyone else go and I clapped and everything. And then it was my turn, and I stepped up and I did a cute little bow type of thing. And then I pulled the flowers on my sleeve and threw them into the audience. Went off perfectly without a hitch. Everyone clapped. I felt very proud of myself that I was able to do that. And then the costume contest proceeded and everyone else went. In case you're wondering, besties, I did not win, but the people who did win were very deserved. It was done by like audience reaction. So one of the hostesses was like, "Hey, who do you think should win?" And they went down the line. And the two winners, I don't remember which was first and which was second, but one of them was this girl dressed as Morticia. And she was over 6 feet tall. So, I mean, automatic win right there. She looked amazing. And then the other winner was this girl dressed as Nancy from The Craft. So another automatic winner. They both looked amazing. So congratulations to them. If you are somehow the winner of the 2023 Wussy Mag Halloween party hosted by Amanda Lepore costume contest, and you're watching this video, I loved your outfit. You looked great. I hope you had a great night. I had a great night. I was really nervous, but I had a great night. And after I got off stage, I also had the experience of a bunch of people coming up and talking to me and telling me how much they loved my costume and that they thought I looked really cool. And people were like, "Oh, you look so handsome," which I don't normally get when I go out because I'm usually not dressed as like a dashing Ghibli character. So that was a new experience for me as well. But it was really cool. It was really overwhelming. Let me make that very clear. It was extremely overwhelming, but it was cool. And to the person who gave me their number, who was a couple of drinks in, mind you, the person who gave me their number, I appreciate you. Obviously, I did not end up responding because I was not looking for phone numbers, but I appreciate you. That was nice. That made me feel good about myself. But then after that, I went home. Amanda performed a second time, but I was very tired at that point, and also very nervous. And all of a sudden, a lot of people were talking to me, so I'm like, I have to leave. I don't want to. I had reached my social capacity for the night, but I had a great time. So that was my Halloween story time for 2023. I went to a Halloween party. I met Amanda Lepore. I was extremely awkward and nervous, and I did a costume contest, and I did close-up magic in front of a crowd of people. How was your Halloween? How was your Halloween 2023? Let me know. Who'd you dress up as? Do you remember? It was 8 months ago, so I can understand if you don't, but let me know how your Halloween went, if that is something that is on your mind in April of 2024. You know what? I think that was a good story time. I think that was a good break from talking about the build. And so now I'm going to briefly go back to talking about the build. As you can see, we're incorporating the color yellow a little bit with those baskets in the front. And I'm also sort of building like a plant area in the back, as well as like she has her little cashier area. I wanted to incorporate this Hello Kitty topiary. I actually don't think that I kept that. Okay, another catalyst, honestly, for playing Happy Home Paradise was the fact that I had a realization during my charity stream, my last charity stream, when someone asked me to put down a specific piece of Karopi furniture. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the rug, but I went to my catalog to go get it, and I realized I didn't have it, which was very strange for me because I'm like, I scanned in all of the Sanrio villagers, that all of the furniture is in my catalog, but that's not true, besties. Oh, I'm changing the floor. I think this is when we change the floor. The tile floor with the little hearts was cute, but it just wasn't colorful enough and I needed some color and we ended up changing it. But yes, back to the Sanrio furniture. I realized that I didn't actually have all of the Sanrio furniture in my catalog. I just had it available to buy because I had scanned all of the amiibos in, but I didn't have the Sanrio furniture like to order or have access to it in Happy Home Paradise or the Room Sketch app. So that was a realization. I was in my year of realizing things, and I was already time traveling on Nautilus to get as many pieces of art as I could, because that's the last part of the museum that I have to complete. So I was doing that already, and so I decided while I was time traveling to start ordering Sanrio furniture. And this is also when the whole bow incident happened. Once again, if you watched my last video, the train station video, you'll know all about that, besties. But I time traveled and I got all of the Sanrio furniture in preparation for this build and all of my future HHP builds that I get to do. So finally I have all of it, and I was messing around in the Room Sketch app and I thought that this combo of the Hello Kitty topiary with the Karopi table was just so cute, and I don't actually think that I use it in the build. I can't remember if I do or not, so we'll see by the end. I don't think that I use it downstairs. I might use it upstairs though. But actually, talking about Sanrio is the perfect segue into my next story time. Would you believe, besties? Because my next story time, we're gonna flash forward all the way to February 18th, 2024, where I had the very unique experience of attending the Hello Kitty Cafe truck at its stop in Atlanta. So a little bit of background. I believe Hello Kitty, Kitty herself, obviously she's an entrepreneur, used to own a standalone Hello Kitty cafe where she sold Hello Kitty snacks with like her face on them and Hello Kitty merch, and it was very cute. I don't think that cafe exists anymore, but she does have a traveling cafe truck that's like a little food truck where they sell the snacks and the merch, and it's been traveling to different US cities. And back in February, it was in Atlanta, and I knew I had to be there. So I prepared myself. I was pretty familiar with the area that the truck was going to be parked in. It was in an outdoor shopping mall that I've been to many times, so I had an idea of when I needed to show up. It opened at 10, so I got there at 8. It was already pretty crowded when I showed up. I actually wanted to show up earlier, but I ended up being there at 8. There were maybe like 200 people in line in front of me, but I was prepared for that. I wasn't worried about the crowd. What I was worried about, though, was the weather, because unfortunately, it had been really warm up until that point. This past February was pretty warm, even for Atlanta standards, but for some reason, the weekend of the Hello Kitty truck, there was a cold snap, and it was maybe like 40 degrees, honestly lower, especially with the wind. Oh my god, the wind was so bad, but it was so cold. I had my jacket, I had my hat, there were lots of scarves and mittens and stuff. There were a lot of children wrapped in blankets, lots of hot drinks. It was not a pleasant experience standing out there, but I was prepared mentally. I knew. I was like, you're gonna stand out there for 2 hours, you're gonna be in a long line, but eventually you're gonna get to the front and you're gonna have all the Hello Kitty merch you want and all the little snacks, and you'll have your pick. You won't have to worry about anything selling out. You'll be fine. So I went in there with that mentality. But the Hello Kitty truck really tried its hardest to break me, okay? The first issue was that the truck did not open at 10 a.m. It tried to open at 10 a.m., but the truck did not have internet. I don't know what was going on at Atlantic Station that day, but they really needed to figure it out faster, because there were like a million children in the line waiting to get their Hello Kitty merch, and it was freezing cold, and the truck could not process any purchases because they did not accept cash. So, oh, we're about to shine things, besties. My story keeps getting interrupted by the build that you're all enjoying, and it's really pissing me off. I'm sorry. That was so harsh. I need to relax, okay? This voiceover is all over the place. You have to remember to shine your builds, besties. Did I change the baskets back to pink? Did I really do that? I was so hell-bent on like, oh, it's gonna be yellow because Fuchsia's flower shop is pink, so it can't be pink. This flower shop has to be yellow. Nope. I think I keep the pink. I literally was looking at the finished build at the beginning of this voiceover when I did the intro, and I did not notice that the baskets were pink. How did I miss that? What is wrong with me? Anyways, shine your stuff, besties. We're using the butterfly shine because it's the best one objectively, and we're in a flower shop, and I wanted to have butterflies, so that's what we're doing. And then after that, we're gonna move to the apartment upstairs, which is gonna be so cute. That apartment has pink. It has pink, and it has orange, and it has yellow, and it has red too. It has a lot of colors that I don't normally combine with each other, and I think it made for like a really adorable build. I would say that the upstairs kind of reminds me of like very early like 2.0 update types of builds, like very early Happy Home Paradise builds for me, and just for like the community in general, with like the way that the build looks. I don't mean that in like a shady way either, like I mean that in like a genuinely positive way. Like there's something so like nostalgic about how people used to do stuff in Animal Crossing, if that makes sense. And by people, I mean like watching other creators online make stuff. Oh, Aurora looks so cute in her little chair. But like watching other creators online make stuff, and like the different techniques that were really popular, and like the different items that people were using, and like all of a sudden in 2.0 we have all this new stuff that we're able to use, and like new we can shine things, and we can do walls and pillars and counters and all this new stuff. And like the difference between like what we were doing when all that stuff first came out and like what we're capable of now is so vast. Like we've really innovated Animal Crossing build technology since then, and it's really cool to see like what we're capable of doing now. But it's also kind of nice to like build in a little bit of an old-fashioned way, I guess that's what I mean. But we've come to the upstairs, and we're gonna build like a really small apartment. I wanted to make it small, one, because we had already done 2 areas of the build, and at that point I was very tired, I will admit, but also just because I wanted to limit myself so I didn't go crazy with items and like overthink this part of the build. But one part that I did really want to keep was an accent wall. I really wanted to use like a floral accent wall, this one in particular, this doodle looking one, and I ended up using the yellow, and then I have like plain yellow walls over the rest of the build, so it's like a little pop of a design on the wall, and it kind of blends in with the yellow, and that sort of informed the color scheme of the rest of Aurora's apartment. So it's yellow and pink and orange and red, and just like warm, happy home type of colors. Happy home paradise, besties. Anyways, that's the plan. It's just gonna be a normal apartment, because she's a girl boss, and she deserves to have a cute little apartment above her flower shop. You know what else actually inspired me to do this apartment, and also just like my desire to decorate interiors in the first place, was recently Angry Coconut did a video where he was decorating his villager houses, like specifically renovating them. And it was just such a nice video, and like all the houses were so unique, and like the layouts he did were so unique. Like that's what I'm talking about, besties. Is like I feel like my third eye opened recently with that Misato apartment video, where all of a sudden I have like all these new ideas about like doing interiors that I didn't have before. And his video, like I said, it was just so nice, and like the layouts that he did and the colors that he used and the items that he used were just so like cool and unique. And it's just the type of video that like makes you want to pick up your game and play and decorate. And I've talked about this before on streams, and I won't get into it too much in this video, but I do get like a bit of a mental block when I know I'm supposed to be working on a build that I'm stuck on, like where I cannot look at other Animal Crossing related content, whether it's like by creators like me or like by Nintendo even, or like I can't think about Animal Crossing because it just reminds me of the fact that like I have a build and I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, and it stresses me out. And so during that like 6-month long period where I wasn't posting, I like was not looking at Animal Crossing content at all. And now that I'm posting again and I'm like able to like watch all the YouTubers that I'm subscribed to, that a lot of you are also subscribed to, like it's just been so nice. Like I get to experience what some of you are doing right now, where you're playing the game and watching me build, and you're building and I'm talking, and it's just fun and it's just nice. I don't know, I just wanted to say that it was a nice video and it made me happy. And like he doesn't know that I'm saying any of this stuff, by the way. This is just like my personal rambling about people who I think are cool. And you may have noticed, besties, by the story time earlier where I was at that party, but I am like terminally shy and awkward, which is actually why I'm a YouTuber. Fun fact. But you know what? I have decided that in this new stage of New Horizons, right? We're working on Tokyo 3. We're working on a new theme. You know, everything's new. Everything's fresh. I've come back from my accidental 6-month hiatus. In my new era, besties, I think that I wanna try to be less shy and awkward. And instead of worrying about if I'm bothering people by talking to them or talking about them, I'm just gonna say more often when I think people's stuff is cool. And like I already do shout people out, but I want to do it more. So shout out Angry Coconut, and also shout out Tay Crossings. I love her content. I've been subscribed to her for a while, and she also recently went on hiatus and came back, and she is starting a no terraforming island. So I'll have her stuff linked below, as well as Angry Coconut's recent video I'll also have linked below. And you know what else I want to get back to, besties? I want to get back to doing island tour videos on the channel. You know what I'm doing this weekend? Besties, if you'll recall the intro where I mentioned we're doing a charity stream this weekend, and I'm going to tour your islands on that stream. So be there. It'll be amazing. The 27th. But I have previously posted island tours of other creators' islands, and I really want to do that more in the future. So be on the lookout for that, besties. I hope y'all enjoy those videos. I really enjoy making them. They're really fun. But yeah, I think that this year, 2024, is going to be my year of saying nice things out loud. I think that's gonna be my thing. Okay, I'm gonna get over my shyness, and I'm just gonna say all the nice things that I think about other people out loud instead of worrying about if I'm bothering them or not. I might be bothering them, mind you. They might be sick of me. You might be sick of me right now listening to this voiceover, but you are literally half an hour into this video, and I warned you at the beginning that I was gonna ramble, and so you were prepared for that. And frankly, if you're still here, you're into it. Okay, so don't deny it. You like it. You know what'd be funny? You know what'd be funny is if I put timestamps on this video, but not based on like what part of the build we're working on, but like what rant I'm going on at that specific moment. That would be hilarious. I should do that. If y'all see timestamps on this video, if you see like comedy timestamps, it's because I remembered to do that when I uploaded the video. But yeah, that's your big sister lesson for today, is you should tell people the nice thoughts that you have in your head, because you don't know, it might make their day. Apparently the other day in my other video, in my train video, when I told y'all I was proud of you specifically, person listening right now, and I am, it made your day. Some of you you didn't care, and that's fine, but for some of you it made your day, and that is I'm happy. I'm so glad, genuinely. This is devolving into something very corny, and I was literally in the middle of talking about my horrific experience at the Hello Kitty cafe, so we're gonna swing back to that, besties. I warned you, like I said, comedy timestamps. Anyways, let's swing back around to the Hello Kitty cafe. That was really positive and nice, and now let's go back to the negative. Okay, I would call it a negativity sandwich, except I don't think that me being awkward in front of Amanda Lepore was really that negative an experience, especially compared to what I endured at the Hello Kitty cafe. So let's just get back to that, finally. So if you recall, let's reset the scene, all right? I show up at 8 a.m. The cafe opens at 10. It's freezing cold outside. There's about 200 people in line ahead of me, and a lot of them are children, okay? A lot of them are young kids under the age of 12 and their moms. And so we wait 2 hours for the cafe to open, and then it's supposed to open at 10, but it actually opens around 11 because they did not have internet on the truck. So at 11, the line finally starts to actually move, and it's moving pretty slowly. And luckily, it's kind of getting warmer because it's getting closer to the afternoon. But I'm looking at the speed of the line, and I'm like, okay, I'll maybe get out of here by like noon, maybe 1 o'clock at the latest, right? That is not what happened. And I noticed as I was getting closer to the front of the line that people were cutting. Now, normally I don't think this would have bothered me as much as it did, besides the fact that 1, it was freezing cold outside, and 2, a lot of the line was like 7-year-olds and their moms. So you see like a frozen 7-year-old huddled in a blanket, and you look at this line and you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna cut in front of that child, that freezing cold child who's been waiting all day to get some Hello Kitty macarons. I think I'm gonna cut in front of them. I'm just trying to like imagine the adult who would think that and do that. Like, what kind of grown adult does something like that? I don't know. That's what pissed me off. And also, it made the line move a lot slower because they literally had to have security at the front of the line to like make sure people weren't cutting, and then the security guards would like take breaks because they weren't even actually supposed to be there. They were just security for the outdoor shopping mall. So like they were like taking breaks on their shifts, and then more people were cutting, and then like the line slowed down because it got longer at the front. And at this point, I had wrapped around, and I was like at the head of the line. I was like maybe 20 minutes away from getting to the actual truck. And I look back And I'll try to find pictures on my phone. There are 1,000 people behind me. 1,000 people. The line goes around several blocks of this outdoor shopping mall. It is absurd. I have never seen that many people at that mall ever in my life. It was crazy. And I felt so bad. So many of them were kids and like teenagers, and then there were like grown adults cutting the line because they wanted to get a Hello Kitty doll. Like, please grow up. Anyways, I thought I was gonna leave at noon. I ended up getting home about like 4 or 5 o'clock. It was really bad. It was really bad. My friends kept texting me like, girl, go home. It's not worth it. But I was so committed at that point because it's like, I got here at 8 a.m. I have to get something. And I did. I got a set of macarons that had Hello Kitty's face on them. They were kind of mid, but they tasted good after I had waited for them. And they tasted extra good because I also got a keychain, a Hello Kitty Cafe official keychain with like the logo, and like she has like a special chef hat on. And the guy at the counter forgot to ring me up for the keychain, and I did not notice until after I left the truck and looked at my receipt. And I was like, wait a minute, I did not pay for this. But it was an accident and I didn't notice. It wasn't my fault, okay? He handed it to me and I didn't notice until after I left. So, you know, it was an accident and I got a free keychain out of it. And I feel like that was karma. That was karma coming back for me after I spent an entire day of my life standing in a line to go to the Hello Kitty Cafe truck. That's what I deserved. That's what I deserved. Let me know, did you go to the Hello Kitty Cafe in your city? Was it as harrowing an experience as I had in Atlanta? Let me know. I feel like they should sell merch that's like, I survived the Hello Kitty Cafe truck. That's how it felt after I left. Like, I really went through something there. We all did, collectively. Me and all the moms. We stood there and we watched all those grown adults cut the line in front of the freezing children, and it was an experience. It was seeing the depths of humanity at the Hello Kitty Cafe, truly. But yeah, let me know if you went to the Hello Kitty Cafe, if you got anything there. I want to know what the other food tastes like because I only got the macarons. Like I said, they were mid, but it was about the experience, the harrowing experience. And let me know if you've been voting in the Sanrio poll. I've been voting because I am trying to stop CINAMORROLL from winning again. He wins every year and it's not fair, and CINAMORROLL is overrated. I'm sorry if you're a CINAMORROLL fan, but he is overrated. It's just a fact, okay? And this year is the year of POCHACCO. I'm calling it now, and I called it before, and apparently he is winning the poll as of right now. So go vote for POCHACCO, okay? It's his time, besties. It's the year of POCHACCO 2024. Get into it. But we're nearing the end of the build. That was a harrowing experience, this voiceover. You made it, bestie. It's your badge of honor for making it to the end of this one. Congratulations. I know y'all like long videos, okay? So this one's for you, besties. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm about to add in the red polka dot rug that I believe I mentioned earlier. If I didn't, it's about to go in now. I really love it. I love that I got to use fun colors in this build that I don't normally use. I feel like this apartment turned out super cute, and I feel like it really suits Aurora's personality, and it just feels really cozy and nice. And I would hang out here with her. I would love to come visit her and just hang out at her place. But we are about to wrap up the build, and here we are, besties. Thank you all so much for watching and making it this far. I really appreciate it. If you liked this video, you can leave a like on it. That really helps me out. If you really like this video, you can subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post or go live. And speaking of going live, besties, I will be live here on this very YouTube channel on Saturday, April 27th at 1 p.m. EST, touring your dream addresses, besties. This is going to be a charity live stream to benefit Doctors Without Borders. They are an amazing organization that makes sure that there are doctors on the ground in places where people are most vulnerable and need medical care. Right now, they're on the ground in Gaza helping people access medical care. And I am really happy to support the amazing work that they do in Palestine and all over the world. And y'all will be supporting them directly with your donations on stream. So basically how the stream is going to work is anyone who donates $5 US or more will have their island toured on stream. And the more you donate, the longer I'll spend on your island. But no need to worry if you can't donate, you should still come to the stream. One, because being in chat in the stream, liking the stream, sharing it really helps the stream spread so more people come and hopefully more people donate. And also, I will be touring random islands throughout the stream as we hit our donation goals. So even if you can't donate, I still might tour your island. So come to the stream, check it out, come see everyone's cool islands, share your own island, help support Doctors Without Borders, and yeah, it'll be a fun time, and I hope to see you all there. So All that being said, besties, I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you all on that charity stream on the 27th. And if not, then I hope to see you all again for my next video. Bye. I'm calling it now. It's the year of POCHACCO 2024. Get into it.